Good evening, students. Welcome back to our spectroscopy class. In last lecture, we are discussing about the rotational energy level, in which we are deriving its classical treatment and we are find out its moment of inertia. I is equal to mu r square, where mu is the reduced mass, which is equal to m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Now, in this lecture, we are going to extend that topic and we are going to find out the rotational energy level. Rotational energy level. So whenever we are talking about the energy levels, rotational energy levels, what it means? In a simple way, you can understand. Radiations can cause a changes in rotational energy levels within a molecule. When you are talking about the molecules in which a number of positive nuclei is there and negative electrons are there. When you are talking about the single atom, in that case, that electron can interact with another electron as well as interact with the nucleus. But when we are discussing about the molecular spectra, in that case, in nucleus, one nuclei can interact with the another nuclei as well as that nuclei interact with the electron also. That is the main difference between the molecular interaction in molecular spectroscopy and in case of atom. Now, so radiations can cause a change in rotational energy levels within a molecule, making it useful for other purposes. The rotational energy level within a molecule corresponds to a different possible ways in which a portion of a molecule can revolve around the chemical bond that binds it with each other. It means what? The rotational energy levels within a molecule corresponds to a different possible way in which a portion of a molecule can revolve around the chemical bond that binds together. So, the solution of above equation is H is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into L plus 1. This solution can be found out with the help of a Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation. E psi is equal to h psi for rigid rotation. E psi L ml phi theta phi is equal to h psi is equal to L ml into theta phi, where y is the function of theta and phi. So, if we substitute the value of h, which is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into L plus 1, then the above equation becomes EYLM theta phi is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into L plus 1 YLML theta into phi. If we simplify and rearrange this equation, then the rotational energy E is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into L into L plus 1. For rigid rotator, L is equal to J. For rigid rotation, L is equal to J. Therefore, rotational energy level E is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into J plus 1, where J is nothing but a rotational quantum number, So, finally, we are getting a rotational energy level, that is h square by 8 pi square I into J plus 1. Now, by using this energy equation, we can find out the different rotational energy states, the energy of different rotational energy levels. So, if we substitute B is equal to h square by 8 pi square I, where B is called as rotational constant. Therefore, rotational energy level Ej is equal to the B into J plus 1. Ej is equal to B into J plus 1. It is the relation of rotational energy for a rigid rotators having fixed bond length. Means we are starting from classical treatment. After that, we are using a Schrodinger equation, and finally we are getting the rotational energy Ej is equal to B into J plus 1, where B is the rotational constant, which is equal to h square by 8 pi square I. Now, I want to find out the rotational energy levels of a diatomic molecule. When we are considering diatomic molecules, in that case, or a diatomic molecules is considered as a rigid rotator. In that case, J rotational quantum number is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. If we draw a energy levels for J is equal to 0, J is equal to 1, J is equal to 2, J is equal to 3, J is equal to 4, as shown in this right hand side in this figure. In that case, if we find out the rotational energy levels by using above formula, Ej is equal to B into J into J plus 1. If J is equal to 0 means what? Ej is equal E0 is equal to B into J, 0 into 0 plus 1, that is 0. For J is equal to 1, E1 is equal to B into 1 plus 1, 2, means 2B. For J is equal to 2, it is 4B. For J is equal to 3, it is 6B. It is not 4B. If J is equal to 2, in that case 2 plus 1, 3 into 2, 6B. When J is equal to 3, in that case E3 is equal to B into 12, or it is a 12B. J is equal to 4, in that case total rotational energy E4 is equal to B into 20B. So we know the energy of each level. So as we go from J is equal to 0 to J is equal to infinite, in that case the energy difference between two successive energy levels goes on increases. Initially, if J is equal to 1 and J is equal to 0, in that case energy difference between these two energy level is 2B. If J is equal to 1 and J is equal to 2, in that case the energy difference between two energy levels is 4B. Similarly 6B, 8B, and so on. So we get a pattern for rotational energy levels, and the spacing between the energy levels is increases as rotational quantum number increases. If we see the intensity, 1 to 0 is 2B, 2 to 1 3 to 2 and 4 to 3, all these intensity for corresponding energy levels are separated by a distance 2b. Separated by a distance 2b. So there is some selection rules for a rotational spectra. According to selection rules, the transition take place only between those rotational levels for which delta J is equal to plus or minus 1. Delta J is equal to plus or minus 1. That is, change in rotational quantum number is unity. Change in rotational quantum number is unity. Only plus or minus 1 energy states are allowed. Remaining all energy levels are forbidden. So the transition in which delta J is equal to plus 1, it corresponds to a absorption. It corresponds to a absorption, and the transition delta J is equal to minus 1, it corresponds to emission. The wave number of a different rotational level, levels will be 0, 2b, 6b, 12b, 30b and so on. The various lines in rotational spectra will be equally spaced. The various lines in a rotational spectra will be equally spaced, as we seen in above diagram. Okay, is there any doubt about its selection rule? If you have any doubt, you can ask me in comment section. So remaining part of this rotational spectra will be discussed in next lecture. Thank you.